Здравствуйте. Hello and welcome to Russian language class. Before moving on, let's have a quick recap of some of the topics that we have learned in the previous lesson. If you remember, in the previous lesson we have done the construction skolka stoit and skolka stoyat, how much is or how much are, and we have used if nominative singular it would mean a singular thing, how much is, and if we use plural nominative plural it would mean how much are. For example, I have written here skolka stoit telephone, how much is the telephone or how much does the telephone cost. And to answer this question we use number or an amount with the currencies, either we can use ruble or dollar or rupiah. I have written some numbers here. So, what happens when these numbers are used with ruble, dollar or rupiah? So, let us start with the first one. 21. How do you say 21 in Russian? Dvatsat ajin. Dvatsat ajin. With ajin we use ruble, dollar and rupiah. Dvatsat ajin ruble, dvatsat ajin dollar, dvatsat ajin rupiah. What about 32? 32. 32 in Russian is 32. 32 rublya, 32 dollara, but 32 rupee. With rupee we use not dva but dve. 32 rupee. Now let us come to the third number, which is 48. 48 in Russian is 48. 48. 48 with ruble will be 48 rublei, 48 dollarov, 48 rupee with e kratke. 93. 93 in Russian is 93. 93 rublya, dollara and rupee with double e. 104. 100 is 100 and 4 is 4. 104 rublya, dollara and rupee. 83. What is 83 in Russian? 83. 83. 83 rublya, dollara and rupee. So, this is how we use the currency and the numbers together to answer the question skolka stoit or skolka stoyat. We have already discussed what are demonstrative pronouns and how they are defined and how they are used in Russian. Now we will discuss how they are used in the prepositional case. For this I have written the nominative case form of the demonstrative pronouns etat, which means this, and tot, which means that, and then its prepositional counterpart. So, how do etat and tot change in the prepositional case? The first I have written masculine form of the demonstrative pronouns etat and tot. Etat dom, this house, tot dom, that house. So, how do we change etat and tot if we use them in the prepositional case? I have written here a preposition verb which means in for reference that it is in the prepositional case form. So, etat becomes etam, vetam dome in this house, and tot becomes tom, tom dome in that house. And this is the masculine form of the demonstrative pronouns etat and tot. Let us take the feminine forms of etat and tot. The feminine of etat is eta with a and of tot is ta. Eta komnata, ta komnata, this room and that room. So, what happens when eta komnata is used in the prepositional case? It becomes etai komnache. So, eta has changed to etai and komnata komnache. Ta changes to toy komnace. So eta, etai, ta, toy. So let's take the neuter gender form of the demonstrative pronouns. The neuter gender form of etat is eta and neuter gender form of tot is to. Eta pismo, to pismo. So when we use eta and to in the prepositional case, they become etam, it is similar to the masculine form, and to becomes tom, it is also similar to the masculine form. So eta becomes etam in the prepositional case and to becomes tom in the prepositional case. Let us discuss the plural forms of the demonstrative pronouns. So what is the plural of etat, nominative plural of etat? Echi, echi dama, these houses. And what is the nominative plural of tot? Che, che dama, those houses. So how do we use echi and che in the prepositional case? Echi becomes echich, vechich damach, in these houses, and chich damach, in those houses. So this is how we use the demonstrative pronouns in the prepositional case. Etat becomes etam, tot, tom, eta, etai, ta, toi, eta, etam, to, tom, echi, echich, che, chich. Let us look at some examples where demonstrative pronouns have been used in the prepositional case. I have written some questions here and their answers. В каких домах живут Rakesh и Mohan? В каких домах живут Rakesh и Mohan? In which houses Rakesh and Mohan live? Rakesh живет в этом доме, а Mohan живет в том доме. Rakesh lives in this house and Mohan lives in that house. So here we have used etat and tot in the prepositional case. So etat has become etam and tot has become tom. This next question, в каких зданиях живут ваши друзья? В каких зданиях живут ваши друзья? In which buildings your friends live? So which buildings your friends live in? And how do you answer this question? Again I have used the demonstrative pronoun etat. Мои друзья живут в этих и тех зданиях. My friends live in these and those buildings. Мои друзья живут в этих и тех зданиях. Здание, as we already know, is building. Этих is the plural of etat and тех is the plural of tot. So here both etat and tot have been used in the plural form. Our next topic is the accusative singular of nouns. So before discussing accusative singular of a noun, let us discuss the transitive verbs. So how do you define a transitive verb? Transitive verbs are verbs which require a direct object in the accusative case. Direct object can be a noun, pronoun or a noun phrase. And these direct objects, they answer to the questions что and кого. Что denotes or define the inanimate nouns and кого animate nouns. I have written some verbs, some transitive verbs here. Some of them answers to the question shto, and some of them answer to the question shto as well as kavo. What or whom? The verbs that answer to the question shto are chitach, chitach you already know, to read, pisach, pisach to write, uchit, uchit is to learn, izuchach again is to learn, gatovit is to prepare. So, when we add a direct object after these verbs, the meaning becomes complete. For example, chitach shto, shto vi chitaiche, ya chitayu raman, I am reading a novel, ya chitayu raskas, I am reading a short story, and so on. The same way, pisach shto, ya pishu pismo, I am writing a letter, uchit ya uchu slava, I am reading, I am learning words, and so on. The same way, vidit, vidit is to see, znach is to know, lyubit, lyubit is to like or to love, panimach is to understand, slushach is to listen, slishach is to hear. So, these verbs can take either an animate noun and inanimate noun after them. Vijich can have shto, vijich can have kavo. I mean, they can answer shto also and kavo also. So, let us do some examples with these verbs. As we have already discussed that accusative case of nouns answer to the question shto and kavo. So, I have written a couple of sentences here. Let us go through them. Shto vi chitaiche, shto vi chitaiche, shto is what? What are you reading or what do you read? Ya chitayu knigu. So, when we answer shto, we use a noun in the accusative case. So, here I am using kniga, kniga is book, I am reading a book. So, as you can see, kniga has changed to knigu, this a has become u. Next question, kavo vi vigili v parque, kavo vi vigili v parque, whom did you see in the park or who did you see in the park? V parque ya vigil brata e sestru, v parque ya vigil brata e sestru. So, here I am using animate nouns. Why? Because the question is kavo. Kavo denotes an animate noun, brat and sistra. So, here brat has changed to brata. So, we have added a at the end and sistra has become sistru. So, a has been replaced with u. Parque ya vigil brata e sistru. In the park I saw brother and sister. So, since we have seen that there are certain changes that we are supposed to make while using the noun in the accusative case. So, in the next part we will find out those changes. In those nouns, the inanimate masculine and neuter gender nouns are there, which do not change their form in the accusative case. Apart from that, feminine nouns with soft sign ending, they also do not change their forms in the accusative case. So, there are three things: inanimate masculine gender nouns, inanimate neuter gender nouns and feminine nouns with soft sign ending. They do not change their form in the accusative case. For example, shto tam, what is there? Tam shkaf. Here shkaf, which means cupboard or almirah, is in the nominative case. Shto tam, tam shkaf. Next question, shto ti vidiš, Что ты видишь? What are you seeing? Я вижу шкаф. Видеть, we have already discussed, it's a transitive verb which requires a direct object. So here we are using shkaf as the direct object which is supposed to be in the form of accusative case. So here shkaf is in the accusative case. As you can see that nominative case form and the accusative case form are same. So shkaf, which is a masculine inanimate noun, it has not changed its form. Next sentence, здание находится недалеко. Zdaniya's building, находится, we have done this verb, to be located or to be situated. The building is situated not far, недалеко is not far. So here здание is the subject, which means it is in the nominative case. Let's move on to the next sentence. Я вижу здание. I am seeing a building. So here again I am using this zdanie after a transitive verb, which means it's a direct object. And as you can see, zdanie in the accusative case and in the nominative case is same. So both the forms in the nominative case as well as in the accusative case are same. So that is why inanimate neuter gender nouns, they also do not change their form in the accusative case. The third category was feminine nouns with soft sign ending. Я вижу мать. Я вижу мать. I am seeing mother. So mother here is the direct object in this sentence or in the accusative case. As you can see, mать in the nominative case also is the same. So the feminine gender nouns with soft sign ending, they also do not change their form in the accusative case. So now we will learn the nouns which change their forms in the accusative case. Now let us look at the nouns which change their form in the accusative case. So there are some masculine and feminine nouns which change their forms when used in the accusative case or as the direct object. So here is the nominative case forms of those nouns and here is the accusative case forms. I have written the questions to which these nouns answer. Кто is who and что is what. Кто becomes кого in the accusative case. And please remember that this ge here is pronounced as v. So instead of pronouncing it as kago, we are pronouncing it as kavo. Kavo is whom and что is what. So here druk is a masculine noun, masculine singular noun. Druk in the accusative case becomes druga. So what we have done? We have added this vowel a at the end to get its accusative case form. Similarly, student, which is again a hard consonant ending noun, masculine noun, has become studenta. So again we have added a at the end. Отец, отец is father or papa. Отец, again we have added an additional vowel a, and apart from this we have removed this ye. So whenever you come across this word отец, you have to make the necessary changes. You have to drop this ye and add a to get its accusative case form. Next is a soft ending masculine gender noun, which is Pripadavachal. Pripadavachal is a teacher. So if the noun is a soft ending noun, what are we supposed to do to get its accusative case form? We have to add ya. So instead of adding a, which is a hard vowel, we add ya, which is its soft counterpart. So if the noun is a hard ending noun, we add a. If the noun is a soft ending noun, we add ya in the masculine gender nouns. And please remember, we are talking about the animate masculine nouns. Now, let us discuss the feminine gender nouns which change their forms in the accusative case. The first noun I have written here is Padruga. Padruga is a female friend. So, what changes do we make in the words or in the nouns of feminine gender in the accusative case? This a has been replaced with u. So, Padruga has become Padrugu. Simya. Simya ends with a soft vowel ya. So, if a noun, feminine gender noun ends with a soft vowel, we replace this soft vowel with again a soft vowel u. Simyu. Simya, Simyu. Auditoria. Auditoria, auditorium or a hall or a classroom. Auditoria again ends with a soft vowel ya. So, we will replace this ya with u. Auditoriu. So, what changes do we do in the masculine and feminine gender nouns? In masculine, we add a, which is a hard vowel, or ya, which is a soft vowel. So, if the noun ends with a hard ending, then we add a, and if it is a soft ending noun, we add ya. Similarly, if a feminine gender noun ends with an a, which is a hard vowel, we replace a with u, which is again a hard vowel. And if feminine gender noun ends with a soft vowel ya, then we replace ya with again a soft vowel u. So, a is replaced with u and ya is replaced with u. We have already discussed the changes that we are going to make in the nouns in the accusative case. Now, let us look at some examples where the nouns have been used as the direct object in the accusative case. Just go through the first sentence. Я вижу на улице машину и автобус. Я вижу на улице. На улице, on the street. So, I am seeing on the street what? Что? The question is что. So, when the question is что, we use the noun in the accusative case. Машину. So, here Mashina has become Mashinu. Why? Because it ends with a, which is a hard vowel. So, when a feminine noun ends with a hard vowel, we change a into u. So, that is why Mashina has become Mashinu. And Aftobus. Aftobus has not changed. Why? Because inanimate masculine nouns in the accusative case do not change their form. Mashinu и автобус. Next sentence. Я хорошо знаю Бориса и Нину. Я хорошо знаю Бориса и Нину. I know Boris and Nina well. So, here Boris has become Borisa and Nina has become Ninu. And the question to which this is the answer is Kavo. So, when the question is Kavo, we use animate nouns. So, Boris is a masculine name, Russian name, and Nina is a feminine name. So, Boris has become Borisa and Nina has become Ninu. A, U, and with masculine nouns we add a if it ends with a hard consonant. Next sentence. Преподаватель спрашивает студента и студентку. The teacher is asking the student, a male student and a female student. So, here student ends with a hard consonant, that is why we have added a to get its accusative case form, and studentka ends with a, that is why a has been replaced with u. So studenta и студентку. Again the question is кого? Next sentence. Я давно не видел мать и отца. Я давно не видел мать и отца. What is давно? Давно is since long. So I have not seen mother and father since long. So here mach has not changed its form. Why? Because I have already explained that all the feminine nouns with soft sign ending, they do not change their form in the accusative case. And achets has become atsa. So achets ends with the hard consonants, that is why an a is added at the end and ye has been dropped. So this you need to remember. And again the question is kavo, that is why we have used animate nouns. The next sentence, studenti slušajut lekciju. Studenti slušajut lekciju. Students are listening to the lecture. So here lekcija, which ends with ya, which is a soft vowel. How have we changed lekcija in the accusative case? Ya has been replaced with you. So studenti slušajut lekciju. So here the question is što, that is why we have used or inanimate noun. So that is all about the accusative singular of nouns. So we will move on to our next topic. Now let us learn a word kashti. Kashti, as you can see, has an adjective ending I and I kratke, and it means each or every. Since it is an adjective ending word, it also changes as per the gender and number of the noun it is used with. For example, kashti student. Student here is singular and masculine, that is why we have used kashti. Kashtaya studentka. Studentka is a feminine gender noun, that is why we have used kashtaya. Kashtaya zdanie, every building. Zdanie is building. Here zdanie is a neuter gender noun, that is why we have used kashtaya with o and ye. Now the fourth form is plural. Kashtiye minuti. Minuta is minute. Minuti, minutes. Every minute. Apart from the meanings each or every, kashti sometimes also denotes everybody or everyone. For example, I have written a sentence here, kashti znayat abaitam. So everyone knows about this. So here in this sentence, it does not mean each and every, but it means everyone or everybody. Everybody knows about this. So this is about this word kashti. With this topic, we conclude our lesson. So what all we have learned in this lesson? We have learned the demonstrative pronouns in the prepositional case and the accusative singular of nouns and the word kashti. So we will meet in the next lesson. Till then, spasiba and dasvidanya.